Grand overview, grand summary. Tell me it all. I'm all ears. I'm going to be typing notes here on the left. So if you see me kind of looking this way, just because I'm typing notes.
First of all, praise God.
Come on, level.
I'm a priest, and I was so blown up in that chalk talks the other day. I even told my wife, you know what? I met this man. Oh my God. Even if you're sleepy, there is no way you will sleep. It's so amazing. I think I need to talk with him to give me some guidance.
Yeah, I will, I love this. I love what I do. As I've said it many times, my purpose is to use my creativity, my teaching ability, and my intellect to encourage, inspire, and motivate. And so it took me a while. It took me about 7 years to get that purpose statement that I just gave you right now, to really make sure that it made sense and what God was really trying to get me to do. And what happened is that since I've been able to evaluate that, you get into a flow. It's just like a river, just like an ocean. Swimming against the current, you're going to be exhausted. But when you change directions and really get into the flow, it doesn't mean that you don't stop swimming, because you still have to swim, but that current is working with you, and now you're able to move at a really good pace. So what's going on with your career? What's going on with, I understand you're in the sales engineering cohort. What were you doing prior? What's been going on? Tell me what's been happening, Nathan.
Okay. We are calling in from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an immigrant who came here like 5 years back to Canada. And then I met my beautiful wife here, and we have one son who is 2 years and a half old. So while back home, I come from Uganda, Africa.
Yeah.
So I have a bachelor's degree in library and information sciences. So
Information science, huh? Library science.
yeah. So when I
Cool.
came when I came to Canada, I went back to school and I changed career and I did a postgraduate in infant and child mental health.
Okay.
I've been working with people with developmental disabilities and with children. So my wife got to see this amazing course from Cyrus, and then she inspired and motivated me to come and do the course. And I'm like, I'm new to this course, so how am I gonna maneuver through the course? But one thing I know, God is with me, so I'm really positive. So, but the other day when you were talking on the chalk talks, I discovered sometimes we need to talk to a mentor who will first of all tell you, like, for example, you ask some guy who did software engineering, you're like, you don't need to go to these entry jobs. You've already been in a system. And
Yeah.
then you said sometimes you don't need to go look around in different careers or departments. It's better for you to look something in your career that you have been doing. So I'm like,
Yes.
that made more sense to me. And I'm like, you know what? I think I need to talk to Mike to get some more guidance.
So that's just us, within the first 2 minutes of us starting this meeting, talking about one company that already interfaces with what your previous background is, and interfacing that, or as I like to say, the intersection between your existing skills and technology, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing I think a lot of folks make the big mistake in is that every industry has a technology department. Every industry.
That's
There's no
true.
one industry in the planet. Even right now, you're working in mental health. So where are you putting the client's information? When you go and meet with the client, or if you're handling a case management file, or if you're putting a note in a report, where are you inputting that data? In a CRM, in a relationship management piece of software. Somebody in your organization has to manage that software. When we hire a new employee, and this is why it's always my favorite to talk about systems administration, because it's the simplest one to even identify. When you hire a new employee, what's the first thing that you have to do? Then once you get through their paperwork and all of that stuff, blah, 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 it's day one on the job. What do? Set up your company email. You got to usually do some video training. And then they got to give you access to what? A system of some sort of logins to get into a system.
Yeah, that's right.
Handled by a systems administrator who has written your stuff in Linux, usually, because that's the industry standard, even though it's being phased out, but it's still very popular. And I have to, like one of the young ladies said, I have to use command keys and command strokes to write and basically hard code in your verifications and assign you as like a user or an administrator inside of the system, giving you varying levels of access. I do that through Linux, through a Linux system, typically on a backend data server that's managing the access point for, let's say, we'll just call it healthcare CRM, you know? So my point is that the technology is everywhere. It's in every business. It's in every industry. What you want to be asking yourself, like I mentioned to you earlier when we were in class, is one, why sales engineering? Like, what was it? Was it because your wife suggested it, which is you're a good man for taking your wife's suggestion. Nevertheless, like, what is it about you that is passionate about sales engineering? What is it that led you this direction?
Okay, first of all, the work flexibility, the flexibility, the flexibility between work and life. And then second of it was working remotely. And then thirdly was the money.
Okay. And third is money.
Yeah.
I think,
Income.
Mike, I think it was work flexibility because of our son, because I travel a lot. So
What do you do, Brenda?
I'm travel nursing for now, but I also have other projects on the side. I'm publishing a book for postnatal, a postnatal recipe book, because I struggled a lot with that. And yeah, that's the project we're working on right now.
Okay.
So he basically, I think his priorities would be, working flexible schedules so he could enjoy time with our son, and then also money, and then work remotely.
And also the work consistency.
The
No, I
consistency.
mean the order is not important. The orders are not important. What's important is the why. Now, here's what's interesting. Never in your three whys, I didn't hear anything about communicating and working with customers or solving problems, or where's the passion behind sales engineering? When I think about what a person's going to spend their time doing, right? You've heard me say now many times, my number one focus is purpose. Purpose. Do I feel empowered in my purpose? Do I feel fulfilled in my purpose by doing this work? I don't take these meetings for free because I secretly have some agenda. Like, I do it because I love doing this. I love working with people one-on-one. I love kind of pulling apart their passions and things and figuring out where they're trying to go, and be a servant, be a conduit, be a resource, be useful, be a tool. That gives me fulfillment. Now what ends up happening is God has given me a platform in which to do that, where that seamless interaction is able to occur. So flexibility, working remotely, making good money. You can do all three of those things in technology. The number one question you should be asking yourself, though, is sales engineering the right path for me? Do I feel as though because I can have flexibility, remote work, and make good money in any technology job, whether it's solutions architecture, whether it's data science and doing data analytics, whether it's software development, whether it's working in Linux systems like an administrator, whether I'm doing DevOps as a DevOps engineer, whether I'm a big data engineer. Like I can get all three of those things in any career path. Why sales engineering? Do you like sales? Do you like working with people? Like specifically in the construct of needs assessment and then problem solving and solutions providing with a product? and dealing with negotiation and transaction and facilitating a transaction? Do you like that? Do you like the demand of all the engineering mind that it requires in order to be an engineer, a software developer, a sales engineer? Like, is that the part that intrigues you? Which part, Nathan? What part resonates with you?
Giving people solutions. I like helping people.
Okay, helping
Yes.
people. So specifically giving solutions. Now, is it more predicated toward like helping people in this like altruistic sort of way, like you described, like mental health, which is like really mental health is a very heart-centered related problem-solving career path? Because there's not a lot of heart in solutions engineering or sales engineering. It's very transactional. You're not, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do build rapport with my customer and I do establish a working relationship with my customer, yes. But let's not kid ourselves. It's because I'm facilitating a transaction. I'm moving that customer down a linear path in conjunction with what my AM has already done, my account manager has already done, with the given objective to sell the customer and make a commission. That's a very different type of solutions providing than, let's say, I'm a case manager providing solutions to my struggling patient. So what I want to make sure is like, is sales engineering the right path for you? And what is it about technology that you like, that you love, that you feel that you are the most naturally sort of drawn to? What do you find yourself doing research? I mean, because just in this quick conversation, Brenda sounds more like a sales engineer than you do.
That's right. Yeah, well, she's good with business.
Yeah. So this is a good time to ask those questions, because one of the things that I talk about, when, especially with folks who believe, is we're always talking about God. Okay, God, God, God. Okay, that's great. That's great. We should be inviting God into the conversation. But that's exactly right. It's a conversation. So what's happening? I should be asking God questions, and then I should be meditating on God's answers, right? And a lot of times we don't ask ourselves the right questions. So we come up with the wrong answers because we're not asking the right questions. So the question you should be asking yourself anytime as a man thinking about providing, where you're trying to go, number one is, what is giving me fulfillment? God, tell me, what in my life, show me, make it plain for me, that I do, that I maybe not seeing, that I get just fulfillment from. And that's why I gave you guys those questions. What is it that you love doing so much that you're willing to do it for free? Number two, what is something that you would know that you would be doing if you knew you would not fail? And then number three is like, what is it that you're thinking about doing for others that, like, when you think about doing it, like it gets you so excited, it keeps you up at night sometimes. Let me use myself as an example. I love mentoring, coaching, teaching, and solution solving. This is why I'm doing it right now for free. I love it. I love doing it so much, I'm willing to do it for free. Number two, if I knew that I couldn't fail, I would either be like a professional player, or like a professional sports player, or probably like a professional entertainer. Okay. So those two things don't really co-align with technology, right? But there are some underlining things in there, like performance, teamwork, competition. I love to compete. I love communicating. I used to be an artist, like I used to do music. So I love like being in front of an audience and communicating, right? So those things are very transferable in the world of SE work and solutions architecture. And then what's the thing that I think about doing for others that gets me so excited that it keeps me up at night? Honestly, building technology that helps a person take their dream and bring it to the world. You know, so we build CRMs and digital courses, and we automate all kinds of stuff with clients. Like, they come with, I say, you bring the ideas, we'll bring the technology and we'll manifest your vision, right? So I'm walking in purpose. And that's why like all these people and money and all this stuff, it flows, because all of that's just the byproduct. That's the byproduct of being in purpose. So you can be a sales engineer and not make good money because you're not in your right position. You can be a DevOps engineer and make hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're in the right position. It's about positioning. And you won't know what your position is if you haven't asked God those questions about your purpose. So my question to you now is, why sales engineering? Because what you mentioned as far as your whys have nothing to do with sales engineering. Those are more of alignment of just like what, like the motivations of like what's got you wanting to look at different opportunities, which is great because you need flexibility. You want to work remotely, and you want to be there for your son, which is wonderful, and you want to make good money. So is sales engineering just like a means to an end? Because if that was me in your position, I wouldn't make a decision about my life. That's just a means to an end. I don't want to just get through my life. I want to thrive. I want to be fulfilled. And God has already told you that I came that they may have life and have it more what? Abundantly. So God's not looking at you and saying, oh, he's got to make a strategic decision based off of all of these variables. He's not looking at that. God's saying he's blessed coming, he's blessed going, he's blessed in the field, he's blessed in the city, he's blessed in here, he's blessed there, he's blessed everywhere. Where does he want to be blessed?